Good morning, citizens of America. This is the U.S. Citizen Journal, Daily Brief for March 27, 2025 AD. I'm here to bring you the latest news from around the world. Let's dive into today's top stories. Surge in electricity demand. Trump auto tariffs. DHS toughs arrest sparks outrage. 2020. Pfizer vaccine delay alleged. Vance strains EU ties. Citizen Journal expands reach. How to subscribe to cities. 1. Energy security shifts from oil to electricity as demand surges. Americans have long equated energy security with oil. The country wanted as much as possible because of the havoc and interruption to supply, from wars, disasters, and political convulsions can cause. In coming years, though, energy security will mean electricity. Power demand, stagnant for decades, is now growing rapidly for data centers to run artificial intelligence and other digital services and, in time, transportation and buildings. An economy dependent on electricity will be different from one dependent on oil. It will require mammoth investment in generation, distribution, and transmission. It will challenge regulators and political leaders as the supply and price of electricity become as politically potent as that of gasoline. Source: Wall Street Journal. 2. Trump imposes 25% tariff on imported autos. President Donald Trump on Wednesday announced plans to impose a 25% tariff on imported automobiles and auto parts, gambling that consumers will accept higher prices on cars today in return for the promise of regaining lost manufacturing jobs in the future. Speaking in the Oval Office, the president said he was acting to encourage the return of auto manufacturing to the United States, predicting tremendous growth in the industry and enormous new tax revenue for the U.S. Treasury, will effectively be charging a 25% tariff. But if you build your car in the United States, there is no tariff, Trump told reporters. Vehicles that meet the duty-free requirements of the United States-Mexico-Canada trade agreement will be taxed only on the non-U.S. portion of their components, the White House said. Source: Washington Post. 3. Tufts students' arrest by DHS sparks outrage, free speech debate. As Tufts University student Rumeysa Ozturk made her way to an interfaith center to break the Ramadan fast on Tuesday, plainclothes agents, some masked, descended on her. She screamed as an unmasked agent in a hooded sweatshirt grabbed her, security video shows. Within about a minute, the agents whisked her away in handcuffs. The widely circulated video of the agents, who Ozturk's lawyer said belonged to the Department of Homeland Security, sent shock waves through the community as thousands turned out in Somerville, Massachusetts, on Wednesday demanding her release. Ozturk, 30, is a Fulbright scholar doing a Ph.D. in child study and human development on an F-1 student visa at the Boston area university, her lawyer Masa Kanbabai said in an email. We should all be horrified at the way DHS spirited away Rumeysa in broad daylight, she wrote, adding that Ozturk has not been accused of committing any crime. A federal district judge, considering a petition from her lawyers, ordered agents on Tuesday not to move the student out of Massachusetts without advance notice. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement detainee locator page showed Ozturk's location as Louisiana late Wednesday. President Donald Trump has promised to deport international students he alleges are engaging in pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic, anti-American campus protests over Israel's war in Gaza. But critics and lawyers for the students say they that are being targeted for expressing their political beliefs and that the government is trampling on the First Amendment right to free speech. Trump sent masked law enforcement officers to arrest Rumeysa Ozturk, a Tufts University grad student with legal status, without a criminal charge, Senator Edward J. Markey, Democrat, Massachusetts, wrote. Disappearances like these are part of Trump's all-out assault on our basic freedoms. Source: Washington Post. 4. GSK alleges Pfizer delayed COVID vaccine news until after 2020 election. Soon after President Trump won the presidential election in November, British drug maker GSK brought an unusual claim to federal prosecutors in Manhattan, according to people familiar with the matter. A senior GSK scientist who formerly worked at rival Pfizer had told GSK colleagues that Pfizer delayed announcing the success of its COVID vaccine in 2020 until after that year's election. The scientist disputes that account of what he told colleagues. But prosecutors are taking a closer look at what GSK shared with them, which is potentially politically explosive. Trump for years has claimed that Pfizer sat on the positive results of clinical trials, which could have reflected well on his management of the pandemic and reassured voters as they headed to the polls. There has never been evidence to support the accusation, and the development of the COVID vaccines is widely viewed as a medical miracle, coming faster than any other vaccine in history. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan has interviewed at least 2 people in connection with the allegation, including a GSK executive who took notes of a conversation with a former Pfizer scientist, according to one of the people familiar with the matter. The scientist, Phil Dormitzer, led Pfizer's viral vaccine research and development before moving to GSK in 2021. Source: Wall Street Journal. 5. J.D. Vance's anti-Europe stance signals strained U.S.-EU ties. European leaders had hoped that Vice President J.D. Vance's antagonism was a political show to build domestic support. Now, after Vance expressed disdain for Europe in a private text chat about Yemen attack details, officials are coming to terms with a vocal vice president whose antipathy for Europe appears to run deep. "I just hate bailing Europe out again," he said regarding planned U.S. strikes against Houthi rebels in an exchange published by The Atlantic magazine. He told fellow administration officials that the U.S. was making a mistake by hitting the Houthis, whose attacks on Red Sea shipping have scrambled global shipping routes. He noted that only 3% of U.S. trade runs through the Suez. 40% of European trade does. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth replied to Vance's comments, "I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic." Vance has played a leading role in sharpening tensions between Washington and Europe, articulating a degree of contempt for the continent that transcends President Trump's milder scorn. He lambasted European democracies in a speech in Munich last month, calling European Union officials commissars. He once called Ukraine a country I don't care about. In the Oval Office recently, he berated Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in front of Trump and international media. Editor's note: Vance is current the top 2028 GOP presidential candidate, signally rough times ahead for U.S. Europe affairs. Source: Wall Street Journal. How to subscribe or unsubscribe to city-specific newsletters. Citizen Journal is growing and now covers Salina and Hutchinson in addition to McPherson. To subscribe only to your city's newsletter: 1. Visit adastraperaspera.us. 2. Click Sign In, top right corner, or account if already logged in. On mobile, tap the menu icon, 2 lines, top right corner. 3. After signing in, click Manage under Emails. 4. Select the newsletters you want to receive. We'll soon launch city-specific notifications in the app. More Kansas cities are coming in 2025. Email Greg at local.i to suggest your city or become a paid content contributor. March 27, 1939. March Madness crowns its first men's NCAA champion. The University of Oregon defeats the Ohio State University 46-33 on March 27, 1939, to win the first-ever NCAA men's basketball tournament. March Madness, as the tournament became known, has grown exponentially in size and popularity since 1939. By 2005, college basketball had become the most popular sporting event among gamblers, after the Super Bowl. That's all for today's brief. Join us again tomorrow for more news and updates. This show was produced by Greg Loving, wishing you a great day ahead. Please follow and rate us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps other listeners find us. Stay informed and ad astra per aspera.